To travel along the remarkably beautiful Chagres is to understand the importance of this river in the region, for Panama and for the world. The river is the Panama Canal's main source of water and was used for gold transportation back in colonial times. Today, it is a protected area for its rich biodiversity, surrounding lush tropical forests, and connects some of the Emberá communities to the rest of the world. The Emberá are the guardians of the river and the captivating forest they call home. But despite the area's natural richness for the biosphere and the key role of the chagres in today's world economy, the majority of the indigenous peoples that live along the Chagres River lack access to basic services like health, education, and ironically, running water. In Panama, indigenous peoples represent 12% of the population, but 80% of them live in poverty. The COVID-19 crisis has only served to exacerbate their challenges. Since they depend on work in the informal sector, indigenous peoples have lost their income during this time. With no access to running water or primary health care, they are more susceptible to the spread of diseases. A trip to Purubiaquiru requires a canoe and an adventurous spirit for the ride. 30 kilometers north of Panama City, this community, like many others in the region, survive through sharing their customs, handcrafts and culture to access their own commercial self-governance. For a long time, indigenous peoples' perspectives were not represented in policy discussions or decision-making regarding government investments. But now, under a comprehensive national plan for indigenous peoples of Panama, co-conceived and co-led by the communities themselves, the 7 indigenous groups participate in their own development and help to define access to services that are aligned with their cultural, economic, political, and social systems and the community's needs, such as education in their native languages, health care that incorporates ancestral knowledge and natural remedies, and sustainable infrastructure suitable to their traditions. Participation in finding solutions specific to their needs during the pandemic will also be essential.
Como presidenta del Congreso, yo me voy a presentarme. Soy Andrea Lino Machi y soy la presidenta del Congreso Regional de Tierra Colectiva de aquí de la región de la Cuenca Hidrográfica de Panamá. Bueno, el día de hoy me siento contenta que han venido a una de las comunidades que ha sido visitada, que es la comunidad de aquí de Purubiaquiru, que es la nueva comunidad de aquí de la región que han surgido en este año. Y mi deber, mi meta, mi objetivo, lo que quiero hacer es que todos puedan venir a conocer la riqueza, la naturaleza que nosotros conservamos dentro de la región de tierra colectiva de acá de la cuenca, que no somos destructores, sino conservamos lo que es la naturaleza. Y eso es lo que nosotros estamos trabajando mucho, sin destruir el bosque, solamente nada más dependiendo de lo que es el turismo como deber y como autónomo, ¿verdad? Nosotros yo creo que somos libres para progresar. Pero no solamente eso, sino es que el progreso será para nuestras generaciones. ¿Cuáles son las generaciones? Son los que vienen atrás de nosotros. Estamos hablando de los futuros que ellos tienen por delante. Que falta de educación, ellos no progresan. La universidad, la premedia, la primaria, o sea, ellos no terminan la escuela por falta de recursos. Y entonces en esa parte es la manera que nosotros como líderes que estamos por delante estamos velando para nuestras generaciones. Así que el lujo no es que nosotros solamente que estamos presentando nada más lo que es turismo no, sino es que estamos viendo el futuro.
Moving from the river now to the sea, bathed by the beautiful shores of the Caribbean, are the towns Nombre de Dios, Miramar, Portobelo, and Palenque, whose communities are mainly Afro-descendants. Palenque was a name given to free Afro-descendant settlements in 1570. established by runaway slaves and surrounded by wooden fences for defense. These were some of the first liberated territories in the Americas. Between Spanish colonial fortresses that speak of the rich but troubled history, the Afro-descendant communities lack access to basic services and opportunities. While much of colonial Spain's vast treasures were transported on their backs and the Panama Canal was constructed by their hands, the communities have not received the benefits. From the words of local leaders, people are still waiting for progress to come. Progress will be defined in terms of access to adequate education and health care, job opportunities, and being able to preserve their rich cultural heritage. Being able to stay in the area and protect their cultural roots is only possible when basic services and jobs are available. Although they have been key players in Panama's growth, they feel forgotten and excluded from Panama's wealth. They too are disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, more likely to suffer from chronic diseases such as diabetes and high blood pressure, conditions which increase complications if they contract the virus.
Los niños se empoderen de lo que es suyo y que es su riqueza cultural como un valor agregado al ser afrodescendiente de la ciudad de Colón y de la República de Panamá, porque no está en otras partes. Nuestra herencia cultural se asemeja a algunos lugares en Brasil, en el Palenque, en San Basilio, en el Palenque, pero no es idéntica. No es idéntica porque tiene otros elementos que la hacen diferente. Y en esa diferenciación es que nos hace singulares, y esa singularidad entonces nos da a nosotros espacio para poder avanzar desde el punto de vista cultural, tomando la cultura como lo que nos puede dar el valor agregado para mejorar nuestra condición de vida. Pero la gente sigue viendo, como le decía, lo concreto, la satisfacción de sus necesidades básicas versus el preocuparse por el desarrollo de la cultura y darle continuidad con las siguientes generaciones. Y cuando eso no se logra, porque no encuentran el valor agregado en la cultura, entonces se dedican a otras cosas y va perdiendo la cultura el valor agregado que los cimarrones desde hace 500 años nos legaron a nosotros aquí en el Palenque de Santiago el Príncipe.
COVID-19 has accentuated the need for having effective, inclusive, and culturally appropriate basic services delivery. The indigenous communities and Afro-descendant communities need to be agents of change during the recovery. Preserving and promoting their rich cultural heritage, unique traditions, and cosmovision are crucial aspects to take into consideration to secure an inclusive and diverse future for everyone. There's no real development without diversity and inclusion.